Slayer a lot. I'm very happy with the Slayer. I don't really feel any need to move the Slayer around. I don't feel any need to move Thaddeus around. Perhaps past the point. There is some argument for opening the bait again. Do we want to go two-handed fighter, or would we rather be just regular fighter? If we would rather just be regular fighter, then we get something like utilize armor a little bit better. But it's not terribly exciting to me. So then, what are we redoing then? If I'm happy with this character, that character, and that character, and this character, I'm not really happy with this character, but I don't see a good replacement being put out for the cleric yet. The cleric just seems to be kind of stuck in our party, but whatever. So that really is just the kineticist. People rave about mutagen, but once per day for 10 minutes means you either waste it or forget it. Well, it's a bit more awkward than that, right? It's I don't ever, I mean, I guess I can't say I don't ever use, I don't ever forget mutagen. But in general, I actually am using mutagen. And the way that this game has kind of evolved down into, whether or not this is intended or not, is I basically take 2 rounds of buffing per rest. And if the mutagen basically applies to one of those, and if I'm lucky, it applies to both of them, depending on the map, the layout of the map, right? So we actually are getting that bonus, and the bonus is really big. It's 2 damage and 2 accuracy to every attack made with that stacks with all other bonuses. That's a pretty sick bonus, and it's 1d6 damage to anyone we can set up sneak attack criteria on. Thanks, Kamso. See you later, man. Yeah. So I kind of buy it. I kind of don't. I like it. I've been mostly happy with it, honestly. I certainly wouldn't mind faster fighter progression of abilities, but I'm also okay with that mutant. And plus 2 accuracy is crazy on this difficulty, right? It's just a lot. Yeah, bard buff would be lovely. I don't know where we get it from. Is there a Sword Lord bard build that does all the things I want it to do? And yeah, this character is kind of whatever. I keep waiting to see how Dragon Form looks, but I don't know what level we get Dragon Form at. Probably 1 billion. But I think all the buffs are great. Bring back the Sensei. The Sensei was so unpleasant to play. It was so boring. And the big buffs that you really want from the Sensei, which are the bard buffs, costing me my fucking actions. So I couldn't either be defensive. I couldn't be defensive and do those things, which was defeating the purpose, right? It was really unpleasant. So I guess I'm kind of coming back to chat. Maybe I think I'm just fixing the flaw of this build, but keeping the build and fixing this and then respecking this dwarf. I'm not sure we need anything else. And if we're just doing that, it gets really hard because the problem is this character currently, I think, is just a perception mule, right? That's the only stat block they're really doing. So they can be, I mean, although they are utilizing shields, not one-handed weapons. So I think the best fit for the team, unfortunately, isn't the fucking duelist build, or isn't the sword lord build, I think, because I think what we're actually looking for is someone who utilizes all the gear. I don't know. I kind of want to play around with that sword lord. Sword lord looked really cool. There's no prestige class that gives bard progression while not being a bard, Nyx. That felt like the way to do that. I didn't like the base bard ones, didn't seem very cool at all. Lord, I might. Are you when someone says dude ... just do the sword lord then, it sounds like what you're telling me is like I get from that like an impatience for me to make a decision. And I both externally think through decisions like by talking through them like I'm doing now, and B, part of the content and enjoyment of the game for me is making the decision. So if you're kind of like, man, I really want you to get to the content, this is content from my perspective. So we might be working at the wrong thing. I don't need you to be like, hey, just pick it then, right? If you're trying to be like rush through that. I'm just thinking through what I want to do. I don't know, there's a lot of, that's the second time we had someone walk way back on their initial thing, right? So just do the sword lord. I might just do it. I might just do this earlier. I'm thinking through that, right? We're looking at the opportunity cost. All right. Well, this coverage is, I mean, okay, another way to look at this. We have a shit ton of really cool weapons that we're not using, right? So Niablos has this really sick Mallet of Woe. Does actually quite good damage. +3 heavy mace that deals 2d6 damage. Grants his wielder the continuous effect of freedom of movement. Is a really nice weapon. Got this really nice dagger here. And these are just both essentially defensive weapons. And then that doesn't even start with like the 1,000,000,001 weapon types that we keep picking up, right? If I go to my inventory right now, we haven't even sold, and we have dumped so many interesting weapons on vendors already that are just sitting there that we could come back for. I mean, like, what is this? This is a one-handed trident doing a fucking 1,000,000,000 damage with both flaming glaives, darts, and frost battle axes, and frost great swords, and, you know, keen elven curved blades of whatever the fuck it is, sling staves, and talon of the wise. What does I mean? What is this? What does this even do? So this is a exotic weapon proficiency monk weapon, enhancement, agile, finesse. I mean, just here, maybe those aren't maybe making my point for me. Let's go find the ones that would. Second execution has undead bane great axe stuff. We can't use any of these. Like, our characters are all so specialized in what they do that they can't use any of those things. That starts to get a bit frustrating when there's all these cool weapons. And then if I look at what all the stuff we've already sold to them, if we go to weapon and sort by what probably price in descending order is probably how to do this. Like, we've got this sick ass dueling sword that we put in there. We've got, you know, shock frost heavy maces and, you know, named weapons that do special things. It's just like all of these things get vendored instantly because we can't utilize them. Oh, you can't see because it's hidden behind shit. I'm sorry, guys. I'm walking through a bunch of stuff you can't see. Rip. Right. Yeah, basically these are weapons I've sold to this vendor. All the blue around it means magic. And all the ones with a bunch of shit in their name have a bunch of things that are happening. Yeah, the game has a ton of weapons, but the system wants you to specialize in a single weapon. Seems to be the push. And worse than that, the armor's even worse, right? Because although the weapons are very interesting and kind of cool, the armors are often not very interesting and very cool. But when I do find interesting and cool armors, I'd really like to be able to fucking use them. You know? But like, at the moment, everyone just wants to be naked with mage armor. Kind of why some of those classes have been very interesting to me. The ones that utilize stuff we have for armors right now. We've got some sick stuff, right? Well, that's not sick, but anyway. Sick breastplate, sick. Paladin's the answer. Paladin specializes against evil though, and evil is not the only type of enemy we encounter. So what do? I get weapon diversity, but at the cost of enemy type that I'm actually good versus. All right. I think I need to make a decision between. I think the druid is like a close third, and I think it's between that ranger fighter. Well, it's not a ranger fighter; it's just a fucking ranger. I need to make a decision between that ranger who utilizes a ton of equipment, or between the kind of cool mechanics of the sword lord build without any of the item utilization. You know, and we get bow utilization on this character. We get reach weapon utilization here, although not really thus far because we weapon spec for an exotic. We're basically only getting this. We're not even using a magic weapon on Thaddeus. It kind of pisses me the fuck off. I mean, look how many magic weapons I've sold here. This is Act 2 in the game, and I've got like 30 fucking weapons here that are magic, and I've dumped them on another couple vendors across the way, and I've got more in my inventory, and I never get to use them. So it kind of pisses me off a little bit. So part of me is like, I really want that. It's one of my big things I really hate about this character. He uses shields and heavy armor. Hey, great. But he doesn't use a weapon, which sucks. I mean, I guess technically we can use like a crossbow here or something. Character has a bunch of weapons equipped but never attacks, so it's all irrelevant. I guess if we find a nice status effect weapon for holding it out, that's also simple, we can do with that. Partial, right? No, this is simple. That would work. So we could get a high damage +3 mace on our cleric to just run freedom of movement. But like every time I pick up a like, look at this two-handed weapon. Like when we found that initially, that's nuts. We just can't use it because no one can use it. Well, I like the faux card recommendation because we're trying to build this guy as a crit guy, so I understand that. It's not that I think any one of these design decisions is flawed. It's just in general what it means is I don't get to utilize loot as I find it, which makes looting unenjoyable because you look it up and it's never ever an upgrade. So I don't know. I mean, we're currently dual wielding on a character who has no dual wielding feats at all, which does two things, which is really annoying, right? The first is it takes away accuracy. And the second, so if this character was a character who was going to hit some of the time and do a little bit of damage while still being like the buff bot and main tank kind of deal, now they never hit. So they never do any damage. Which means later on when we form Dragon Form, I don't even know how Dragon Form works with this character. Like when I transform into Dragon Form, chat, am I just using unarmed weapons? Like I'm not going to have either of these weapons equipped? Do the status effects of these weapons still trigger like the Druid Form stuff? Or are these status effects gone? Doesn't know, Tom, unfortunately. Reach in this game, even when enlarged, really requires actually a reach weapon plus enlarge. Not enough. The enemies hit me too often when I'm just in melee, and I can't get enough cleave targets is the other thing, right? Without a reach weapon. Yeah, exactly, for sure. That in a tabletop, the DM would fix this, but it's not. We're limited to the game system. Channels of the builds posted in, they're in the DM channel. Anyway. Okay, so let's go look at those. Go look at those. So I think we're not on the meme druid. I think dancing in full plate, a slightly worse version or slightly less interesting. I guess I gotta compare those again. So we know what we're doing with this one. This is the very interesting sword lord build that I really like the idea of. We do get to use a dueling sword, but we're back to naked. I mean, we can technically do some armor coverage with Thaddeus and the Ranger, I guess, although thus far I haven't found a strong reason for it. Hey, Joyce. How much does getting armor on the Sword Lord hurt the build? Quite a lot, I imagine. Okay. Ooh. These two, again. This is the first one I just immediately rejected because your fighter build, right? It is dwarf. Doing shield bash again on this one. I look at it and I go, meh. And the other one was the Ironclad Ranger one. At least wasn't pure fighter. Pure fighter has some flexibility too. It's just when I look at what the advancements are here, I mean, it's flexible, but we've already decided with those. The benefit of this is heavy armor focus, right? Yeah, One Heart. Oh, you were back too? You want a summary? If Joas and One Heart just showed up, two of the major contributors of this, you guys want a quick summary? So I like the idea of miasma and the fact that we haven't used the druid yet. That's a little bit interesting to me. And that the forms maybe could be cool. Like converting to animal forms is all right when it's not summoning a shit ton of animals. So I like that. I think it's currently my 4th favorite out of 4 though, or 3rd favorite out of 3. I like the duelist build a lot because I think the Sword Lord build a lot because I think Sword Lord is a super cool sounding prestige class and it does a lot of things. Like I like the idea of an off tank that does a lot of things, right? So, and that's doing that. Downside being I only utilize dueling swords there. Now we have a really fucking cool dueling sword that we just sold to an NPC that we can just buy back, right? That we could use. That would be really kind of nice to take advantage of that, but it's very, very item limited. And then finally, probably my 2nd place right here is this Ironclad Ranger. Is like a super, what is this? Like fairly resist heavy sword and board, I think. Sword and board using heavy armor and a heavy shield with a one-handed martial weapon for item usage here is kind of nice. Now the downside of that is that we'll probably end up using a bunch of fucking weapons. Are there any classes that can change weapons for free? Like not as like a move, but just like free action change weapons. Like how do fighters not get to change weapons for free? I don't like Inquisitors very much. Because they seem, the best Inquisitors seem to be the Monster Tactician by a million miles, and I don't want summons. Called Quick Draw? I didn't remember Quick Draw in there. On Pathfinder. Yeah. Anyway, it seems such a basic thing to be able to do. That's kind of a big whoopsie, isn't it? Like, why the fuck isn't it in Kingmaker? It seems like it'd be such an important thing to be able to do. Like, think of how much like weapon usage you, like how versatile you have if you're some of your versatility comes in the weapons you're using as opposed to the build you're using. It'd be really nice. Yeah. All right. So I guess while Joas and One Heart and Niablos are all here. Oh, Niablos just left, unfortunately. Too bad, because it would have been really nice to debate the three of them. Maybe we can do a quick like, Joas, can you sell me the Sword Lord? Like, maybe better than selling me is, I like these little summaries. Can you give me a version of this in chat, maybe? So this seems great to me. Maybe how do I chat? Oh no, brain overload for a second. How do I want to bring this to chat as like talking about this? So super sexy, the idea of we have a intimidator on our ranged guy that uses a very specific type of intimidation. This becomes a nice single target intimidate utilizing Thug, which I like, and Thug has some disable abilities in it that are nice, and we've been meaning to create a Thug, all very nice. And the Sword Lord abilities are fucking amazing. They're so good. I'm so happy with them. So I look at this and I'm like, these classes are so interesting. I don't know about this later stuff down here. Like, I don't know quite what if I want to do this kind of stuff, but up to 11, this looks really, really solid to me of what I'm interested in doing. So seems great. Downside of this character, doesn't utilize any fucking equipment at all outside of a dueling sword. Okay. I look at the Ranger. Is where? Here. Utilizes equipment. Character itself doesn't look that interesting, although Freebooter is a little bit more interesting than Animal Companions. I don't even know what Flame Warden does. It sounds terrible though. I don't love Ranger buffs. These get pretty heavily duplicated by what we already have, but they're still useful. Lead Blades is fine as a buff spell, depending on the duration of it. And I guess if you get full Ranger, maybe the duration's reasonable, and having the additional stat boost off of like Bear's Endurances or Cat's Graces are fine. And really what's selling it is this is the least boring that I can see of the characters that utilizes a bunch of different gear. That's the selling point of this character from my perspective. And then finally the Druid. Druid doesn't utilize gear. The problem with the reason why the Druid's third for me is the kind of interesting mechanic is that your presence alone is debuffing enemies and possibly allies, and could kind of more of an interesting positional kind of character with some flexibility of spell casting. The weapon and armor usage is kind of weak, but it's okay. All right. Those are kind of where I'm at between those three. And if we're only going to respec the wizard to fix the wizard and only respec the dwarf to get rid of the dwarf, I only basically get to add one person here. And I'm quite tempted to just say, fuck it, grab another naked frontliner. But then we're going to be so angry with all of our gear, right? Even right now, what is our actual gear coverage? Our actual gear coverage is for armors. Basically light armor only. Like, I mean, our Slayer can technically wear medium armor and is right now, but not a whole lot of reason to do it. Thaddeus isn't heavy, but I can't stand heavy on him. It's so bad. Like every fight, I don't get my charge off because of heavy armor. So we're probably downgrading to medium there. So it becomes like light, medium, character gets respect. If it ends up being the Sword Lord, it goes to cloth. Already wearing cloth, already wearing cloth, already wearing cloth. Thanks, 8 fractal. I mean, we can do the EK respec right now if you guys want. Plastic abilities that negates the downside of heavy armor. Yeah, there is. It's the fighter. The fighter gets to negate the downsides of heavy armor. Thoughts, chat? No thoughts? No, we're not replacing the Arcane Trickster with the normal wizard. We're replacing this like Thessalonian wizard portion of the Arcane Trickster with a normal sub portion of the Arcane Trickster. Arcane Trickster's versatile, very interesting class. Love it. Probably my absolute favorite. I don't know if it's my absolute favorite team. I love the Pure Slayer, the Vivisectionist Fighter, and the Arcane Trickster are all very, very satisfying. The Cleric is excellent, if very boring. And I haven't decided about Niablos, the Dragon Disciple. I'm kind of out on the fence about that still. It's been a very good tank, and it has magic to buff, and getting really important buffs covered by that, so that seems very solid. I've yet to see. I want to see how the Dragon Transforms shit actually works. We could look at which wizard we take it with. Daft Mule, sure. I might like a Vanilla Inquisitor. The problem with the Vanilla Inquisitor, Nyx, was that it was worse than the Monster Tactician Inquisitor. It basically lost almost nothing to gain monster summoning. I found the monster summoning mechanic game breaking in the worst way, where it trivialized content and made the game less interesting to me rather than more exciting. We started with one of those. And I removed it eventually because it just made fights boring, where I'm just spamming disposable summons as meat shields that the enemy's too dumb to not attack and always attacks, and then, like, what am I going to do? Not utilize the class? If I utilize the class well, it trivializes everything we're doing. Okay. So, when we're faced with scenarios like this, chat, which are, you could call this a hard decision, we could bravely face that hard decision, or we could hide behind other decisions till we run out of things to hide behind or run out of time. So let's do that. Let's fix our Arcane Trickster right now. Then we'll come back to make this decision. Guys, enter. Alright. So I've recorded our cache. We're at 106,780. Should be fine. We'll come back to that in a minute. Alright. Alright. I'd like to tutor. I agree. Oh shit, hold on. Before we do this, let's just briefly make sure we understand what the hell we're doing here. Alright, where's my spreadsheet there? Over here. We're looking at Arcane Trickster. Alright, we're happy with the race and the stat distribution. And we are elf. God damn it, I can't. Okay. We're elf. And we've been raising int, right? Okay, so what are we actually working with stat-wise? 7, 8. So I just want to like copy paste that. That's reasonable. Elf. That. Okay, anything else we need for this? I don't think so. Good. Then I want to get the feats. Happy with the feat progression too. Larger Mimir Druids. Do you like Druids 1 heart? Or are you just trying to get me to use one for some reason? Alright. There is a ordering issue here. What it was. These are the feats we've taken up to now. Where does this come from, chat? Just wizard progression? Just being a wizard? So, yeah, the problem with the class tab is I think it shows me that fucking acid progression. Like, where? Very helpful to tell me to look at the class tab. Kind of just want it answered. Specializing in conjuration. Really? It's something of spell focus gives us acid? Or it comes in off of this thing. One icon left. The left of this? You mean here? Tell me shit about that. The big one. Sometimes chat. This doesn't tell me that I get acid bolt. Or acid splash, whatever the fuck it's called. Anyways, let's look at our feet. Give up on that for now. Yeah. All right. Respecing this guy. Anything else I need to track for this? We have our... I guess I need to track skills too, right? That's the other thing that has to be met for EK. It has skill requirements. What the fuck are they? It was mobility. No, we've been leveling mobility. So where do I actually see the base amount in these? We are skill monkeying on this character, and we're taking... I have this pen. Right. I have Hana. Knowledge world. We have none in there. Been leveling perception, although I think we level it after. Last skill plus ranks 4. I don't know if we took this because we needed the other thing. I think it was mobility we took. We took 5 ranks of mobility. We needed 3 already. No, we don't. Not the defensive. Trickery's got 8 in it. What do these ones have? 8 in it. The trickery is every level. We took UMD. We need to reevaluate if we want UMD. And mobility's got 5 and perception has 4. Why perception is... all right. Then we did UMD then. Although UMD is a big question mark. Stealth for Trickster? I don't think I need stealth as a class skill at all. Anyways, so where are we speccing here? Let's go. Last thing was, who the fuck was this? This is Baracus 1/4. Right. Elf. Elves should be fucking ripped. Ripped wizard elf. Running wizard elf. Okay. Get a beard because he needs a beard. Elves have facial hair. Okay, he wears a wig and a fake beard. Part of his disguise kit. Good. Alright. Arcane Trickster was 4 knowledge, 2 sneak attack, trickery 4, mobility 4. Why did we have 5 points of mobility then? Did we fuck up taking 5 points of mobility? We might have. Is he also our mobility guy, though? Who is doing mobility for the party? Did we just stop doing mobility? Yeah, I think he's our mobility guy. Nieblis is at 9, but we stopped raising it on Nieblis, right? There's 3 ranks in that, and he doesn't level it. Oh, he is leveling UMD. Nieblis could be the mobility guy if we didn't level UMD. I was leveling UMD though because he actually has charisma and a reason to use it. We only have 6 ranks in it though. We just never focus someone purely on UMD? Wait, no. Anyways, specking elf. Perfect. Does it matter wizard versus vivisectionist? I think it does, right? You want vivisectionist first for that slight HP increase, I believe. Imagine there's more hit dice on an alchemist than a wizard. Wizard's got to be the lowest hit point die, right? Take this for sneak attack and mutagens, which we need. Okay. All right. It was dump strength, dex to 18. I took these stats, find them. 18, 12, 21, 10, 7. And we've taken 2 levels in that, I suppose. All right. We have to start with Trickery and the other one for Arcane Trickster. Arcane, I think it's Knowledge, right? Are we going to try to UMD this or no? Mobility is required there as well, are we sure? Yes. Knowledge Arcana. So I think we did both Perception and UMD. So okay, so the fucking annoying part is we kind of need to make a decision about this. I guess we can respec again. Are we gonna try to make UMD work? Character. I need to read what the stupid lore mage does. Let's find out what stupid mage does. All right, wizard. All right, basic wizard. Arcane Bond. Either a familiar and wizard bonus feat. Wizard bonus feats. We have spell school specialization. Wizard armors.
Quitters never win.
Offbeat grunge. All right, what does Scroll Savant do? Adds half of his class level. Bonus. Yeah, talk to me about how this progresses. Is this only wizard levels? In other words, does this do nothing for us, our Arcane Trickster? Or is it also Arcane Trickster levels? So our guy is int based. The Scroll Savant uses scroll. It calculates the DC for any spell it contains using his int modifier, minimum modifier needed to cast a spell at that level. I guess. ET counts for spell casting, but not wizard feat. what I wanted to know. So we basically get no value out of taking either of these because we're only going to have like, I don't know, I think it's 4 points in Wizard. 3 points in Wizard, something like that. We get +2 UMD. And what's the penalty of being this Wizard? What do we give up by being this Wizard? Bonus feats? Oh, we want our fucking feats on this Wizard. That's a really steep cost. Because we give quite a lot about this doesn't care, but this is what I'm asking. This says class level. It doesn't say character level, and if it's class level, it cares about wizard levels, right? So we're gonna get like 2 out of this. It's not gonna scale up across the course of the game. So if we're trading giving up feats, and we give up how many feats? Felt like we got this feat given to us even though we were a fucking wizard. Yeah, I was wrong. Maybe that's the Dragon Disciples pulling that in. I can't remember. You're talking about the level 5 Scroll Savant feature? I don't think we get to level 5 in Wizard, right? Like we start EKing before level 5. I think we only get to level 4 in Wizard. I mean, that's a nice benefit though. I could just look, I guess. Oh, it is level. You take 5 levels of Wizard. Okay. Right. No low. That's the problem we ran into, Dawn Treader, was that our last AT was trying to UMD as well. So Scroll Savant lets us work a little bit with that. But it's not like, I mean, our feats on the Wizard are pretty tight. Like he uses a lot of feats. Hit 10 Arcane Trickster, you have to head back. That's true. But like this bonus doesn't seem that major, right? 1 minute. You always use take it. Wait. I didn't read the second half of this. I got tooltipped again. Adds half his class level to a bonus on UMD checks. Always takes a 10 if 10 on a roll is high enough to. What type of DCs are we actually seeing? Like, dude, I guess there's some more. Okay, so our current Arcane Trickster is use. Where are my scrolls? I have these as commands now. It's fine. Hype. Yeah, it's the DCs are crazy high for these, right? So, and if I look at these, what is it? It's you want concentration, saves, CMD. Yeah, there it is. PFUMD. Yeah. The PFUMD. It was sweet when Diablo set this up. Okay, magic device skill allows you to activate wands and scrolls that are not on your spell list. The DC is 20 for all wands and 20 plus spell level. Wait, DC is 20 for all wands. So if we get a 10 on these rolls automatically, then we just need 10. Right on that? Anyways, let's take a look at the spell. Let's look at the scrolls. It's 20 plus spell level. Okay. And if we look at that for like 9, for example, if we end up at 9 for spell level, we're looking at 29 DC on higher level spells. And we're looking realistically right now, we're casting level 4, so we're looking at 24 DC. Wand is not a scroll. Your point. Oh, you think that the respec doesn't matter for that? All right, well, we at least have an idea of what we're looking for to hit. Can I hit that as an int-based caster? If we respec here again. And we end up as like... Oh, I was going to look at the wizard stuff. How does this interact here? Scroll Savant. Half his class level. A Scroll Savant adds half his level to UMD checks. Doesn't say, so straight off the bat, we're getting bonus to UMD. Ah, but the second half of this only applies to scrolls. Although hitting a 20 is a lot more reasonable, especially if it doesn't scale up. Also, is it really only that? So we should have wands. Where are wands? There are wands of spells that he can't use. I have like a wand of fireball somewhere. These are extension wands. They don't really count. Must be wands in here that we can't use somewhere. Thaddeus got a fucking wand. Racing. None of these are redded out. Cat's Grace, Acid Arrow. There it is. That's what I was looking for. Okay. Do you guys think if I want to cast this, I need to it's just 20. It's DC 20 to cast this versus my UMD roll, which is D20 plus UMD bonus, which is actually fairly large in this character, right? 9. The wands would still be sketchy. Okay. And what was the other feature? Well, it can fire. So this makes scrolls better, which is good because currently the problem is scrolls don't scale past any scroll that is an offensive spell. Basically, stops scaling immediately. The minimum spell level is like a level 3 requires 3 int, right? A level 5 requires 5 int kind of deal. But we are getting some of that. I really don't like giving up that feat though. The character seems pretty feat hungry. I think the 10 on magic devices checks to use a scroll is actually really solid too. Gonna make those basically always pass if once we get past a certain level of addition from UMD. The question is, can we get enough UMD? Take a 10 to use magic device and cast a spell from a scroll. If 10 on a roll is enough for a successful skill check. I think that includes the first part of this. So if we ended up with this, it's arcane 5. So minimum is 2. So this is gonna be 2 on this. This essentially gives us 2 levels of UMD, and we take 10s all the time. What were the actual abilities we took? I took this on the spreadsheet. We actually do have. We took, all right, simple weapon for this. There's stuff that happens. We have throw anything. That's okay. That's also Viva section. So what do we actually take for aggression? We took point blank shot, spell focus conjuration, accomplished sneak attacker, precise shot, and spell focus, and greater spell focus conjuration. So we literally have taken no feats that we didn't already wish we had taken. I want all of those feats. And I don't know what the rest of my feats are going to look like on the wizard, but I think I wanted to do a second area of spell focus. So there is a focus UMD, chat. Is that right? As a feat? What does that equal? Is that the +3, +6 depending on where it is? Yeah, I don't think we can go human. We work through this. I don't know if I can use this scroll savant, honestly. Yes, Dr. Bois. I also agree with that. I think it's even lower than +10. I think it's +8. Because I believe the first half of scroll focus says I get this wizard's only ever gonna have, not true. The wizard's gonna for a long time only have 5 levels of this though. 5 minimum, 5 halved minimum, like down, rounding down is 2 from scroll focus. So we automatically get plus 2 UMD. And if then our scroll rolls are 10, then presumably we need 8 UMD to cast scrolls guaranteed. Yeah, but 8, yes, you're correct. We have to get, I guess if we're talking the minus from that, let's take a look. So as it is right now, we did that. We built this character as a minus charisma UMD user, right? So our net on use magic device right now is 9. We already have plus 9 here. And that's calculating in the debuff from charisma. So if we took Scroll Savant, I think this means we could actually stop leveling UMD here. Just be 8. And it will be that way for the rest of the game. Right? Did I forget? Is there like scrolling going up? DC is 20. No, DC is 20 for all wands. Wrong. Okay. 20 plus spell level for scrolls. So actually we have to hit 29 with this by the end. And we're looking to be, we can only have to hit 21. No. Way around. Minus 2. We have to hit 29. We have to hit 27 off this, right? And we get 10 of it automatically, so we have to hit 17. We need to keep leveling this. We already have it at plus 9. We need 8 more levels of that. Yeah, so you'd stop leveling UMD at 16 and be able to use all of your, if you took Scroll Savant, I think you can stop leveling UMD at 16. And you would have the ability to use all your scrolls, guaranteed success on casting them, and additional DC on their ability. I think. In chat, remind me, can I use scrolls from different domains with UMD? I can, right? Like it doesn't matter if it's a, you know, a fucking wizard or a cleric spell or whatever. Yeah. So if we look at item coverage, part of the benefit of UMD is we get to use all the cool shit that we pick up and don't get to use. I mean, like these things, their DC doesn't scale for shit either, right? This is the minimum. I don't know why. Scroll Fireball is a level 5. I thought it was 10 plus the caster level. Oh, but level 5s are caster level. Spell level is 3. So why is the DC on this 14? That DC on this would be I know DC is not, I know this is not the DC check for using the scroll. I know this is the DC that the enemies are rolling their reflex save versus. I'm not sure why it's 14 though. It's saying this, the level 5 feature means that this would be what? So we need to go what is this? This is not knowing these. CMD, it's not CMD, it's not UMD. I need to, how do I calculate fucking scroll DC difficulty? No, it's not 20 plus 3. So where does this 14 come from is what I'm asking. That's based on this, the cast of this, right? Okay, DC is 10 plus spell level plus spellcaster ability modifier. That's what I was looking. DC is 10 plus the spell level, so it's a level 3 spell fireball, I think. So 10 plus 3 is 13 plus the spellcasting ability modifier. Is that always 1 then? Shouldn't that be 3? Shouldn't this be 10 plus 3 plus 3? Shouldn't this be 16 DC? Oh, you only need 13 int for... Oh, I see. So it's not the int bonus that determines the spellcaster. It's literally int. So I only need 19 int to cast level 9 spells instead of plus 9. So what is this actually scaling for? So we're getting actually, so if we scale this up with spells then, so this equivalent scroll here, which is currently DC 14, for us, we're not even buffed right now. We're at +5 for this. So then it would be 10 plus 3, which is 13 plus another 5. So this is DC 18, bringing the DC up by 4. Do scrolls also take advantage of your focus? So if this is, let's pretend this was a Summon Pit scroll, would I also get another 2 on it? Savant Fireball is 10 plus 3 plus 5. Well, 5 here because we have 21 in. No advantage from focus. That's a really big spell DC off of scrolls. That's pretty fucking nice, chat. That's a pretty nice set of bonuses. You give up a feat. So what other feats are we wanting as wizards, I guess is the question. So it's our specialization on other schools, but the benefit of doing something like Scroll Savant is we can quote unquote specialize other schools by taking scrolls. Have to go Wizard 5 before going AT. I thought we had to go Wizard 5 anyways. What's our current guy right now? His current build. It here. Oh shit. So it's way lower than that, chat. Because look, we're only taking 3 levels in Wizard. We had 1 in Vivisectionist, 3 in Thessalian Wizard, then 4 into Trickster. Fuck. So we're only actually getting 3 points of the subspec. And we need 5 to even take advantage of the part that we mostly care about. I think that take 10 is actually, 10 as a minimum, I think is actually a very powerful ability as well. But I do think adding that int bonus gets amazing. I mean, we could do that later, right? So the thing is, Arcane Trickster stops scaling at 10 levels of it or something, right? Or is Arcane Trickster the one that goes on forever? No, it stops there. So it'd be 13, it would be 14 levels ahead of time, or 4 levels ahead of time, 10 levels of that. So we get it at 15. No, we wouldn't. We get it at 16 because we need 2. Not go 4 into Scrollmaster, then into Arcane Trickery. The Scrollmaster alone doesn't give sneak attack, and without sneak attack 2, you can't take Arcane Trickster. It's a prereq. And I do like the Arcane Trickster. The question is, are those later Scroll Wizard benefits worth it, or is postponing our EK stuff worth it? The problem with I mean, I guess take Arcane Trickster after. What are we losing from delaying Arcane Trickster? Arcane Trickster gave us sneak attack, which is auto attacking, which is okay, but not essential to the wizard's progression. I want to get it because I like them having an off attack that's reasonable. But we still get full wizard progression spell wise with every level of Arcane Trickster. So it doesn't matter if we take Wizard or Arcane Trickster first for spell progression that I care about. So there's some argument about later sneak attack progression, which is damage dice. Sure. We get a later ranged Ledgerman, although we'd probably have it by now, right? We're looking at 1, 5, then Arcane Trickster. So we start getting our first level of Arcane Trickster at 7. We're already 8. Oh, that's right. I think it did go to EK of the fair point. Do we fuck up our late game progression by taking this instead? What was EK giving us? I don't remember what the fuck EK does for us. We look at that. What was EK giving us? I don't know why we're going EK. Probably something. Bab progression or something, probably. I don't know why we care about Bab on this caster. I doubt we do. We do EK too. We have to take martial weapon proficiency later. But why do we care about full Bab on a wizard? Like, this is not the dragon wizard. This is just fucking wizard. We're mostly cantripping We're looking for touch AC targeting. We're not even really using the bows, the crossbows. Diablos' build, I kind of would like to know why. Huh. Because, I mean, the scroll thing is actually fairly interesting. What does the rest of that build look like? It's Arcane Trickster, full wizard, scroll build. Kind of neat. You know, I carry around, like, we keep accumulating, like, 23 scrolls of Bless, but more importantly, like, 5 scrolls of Hold Person. And these have been leveling up. The first rounds we got were level 3 Hold Person spells. But these are, like, this is, like, the perfect time to have a scroll, right? Where it is super situational. This needs to be a we have to succeed on a ranged touch attack and then also beat their will resistance, and it can only be a certain subset of enemies in the game. This is the perfect time to have a UMD check to use something like this. But because its DC doesn't scale at all, the spell is useless by the time we want to do it, right? Probably accuracy with raise. I'm trying not to respec just when it's convenient, Tov. We're mostly respecing out of what we want our party to do. EK gives accuracy? To what? To gives accuracy to raise somehow? Full Bab is accuracy for ranged attacks. Ah, interesting. I always forget that Bab adds accuracy. I absolutely forget that. So that's just then. The reason to take EK is essentially not that much reduction in spell gains for the idea of continuing to add Bab accuracy. Okay. An idea. I guess the idea of targeting touch though means I'm not quite as concerned about accuracy, right? Like the whole reason this character is an Arcane Trickster as opposed to Pure Wizard is because I didn't like the off rounds on Pure Wizard. Dude, that scroll specialist seems kind of sick. Am I like overvaluing that? That seems like it takes scrolls from something that are pretty useless most of the time to actually fairly good. Like the offensive scrolls. Because currently offensive scrolls are garbage. Defensive scrolls are fine. There's situational buffs that you sometimes can get more of, kind of deal. And the wizard is exactly the type of person. The Arcane Trickster is exactly the type of class that we have that wants to be using scrolls. Because they essentially have very powerful disables that are situational. A kind of medium to low power auto attack kind of situation that can be ramped up if we want to spend spell resources to make it higher power. But there's going to be scenarios. They're flexible what they do with their turn kind of. Well, it would never be over Arcane Trickster. It would be after. Filthy, is there a simplified class mechanic you take from Pathfinder to put into Battle Brothers? I don't know, man. There's a shit ton of fun mechanics in Pathfinder. I don't know how well any of them would translate to Battle Brothers. It's such a hard thing to like think of. Like you have to just like fix the game. You have to like figure out how that would fit into the game system. Sure, there's all sorts of ideas you could take from that. I think it's going to revamp the game entirely, though. Scroll Dude sounds like he needs more than 3 levels. Well, but you're okay, chat. So think about it, right? So there's if we go, the kind of build that we were building was Wizard, Arcane Trickster, more, and then EK, which is essentially Wizard again, kind of, with some more accuracy on the ranged damage spells. So, and the upside again is we get a couple more feats. I think 1 more feat get the wizard feat something that the scroll mage wouldn't. If we go to the scroll mage, we maybe don't go EK. We lose some late game accuracy on our touch attacks, although presumably we are targeting touch, and also presumably late game we're going to have some help with AC from the sets of intimidates we're building, right? We have one, possibly two sets of intimidates that are going to come online a little bit later. So we might be able to get accuracy boosts elsewhere, especially with all the late game fucking buffs too. I guess I don't know how worried I am about that accuracy stuff late. Not that worried. I don't know. We'll have to see for that. And DC seems insanely important because all the shit right now is like save or fail kind of shit, right? Or save or die kind of shit. Like if I hit an enemy with the paralyzed, they're dead. Yeah, we lose an EK. We lose one of those too. Remember the community domain oh shit button? Yep. The big accuracy boost. God, I kind of want to try this scroll thing. Am I talking myself into some garbage, or is this actually doing something that we want, which is item coverage, right? Like we loot a lot of scrolls. That sounds pretty sexy. Sounds really sexy. Said no one ever about talking about scrolls, but here we are. I mean, how great is it that somebody takes garbage and makes it into fucking gold? Let's try it. Let's try it. Okay, we can always we're never locked into something. If I hate this in fucking 5 levels time, I'll feel a little like kind of little lazy about like not actually having gamed through it enough and end up with doing that, but I kind of want to. Let's fucking do it. All right, so we need tiny body, smirking face because he's a fucking elf, and no hair. Really let him know he's an evil elf. Evil, left-handed because left hand's the evil hand, right? Gray hair if he has any hair ever. Yeah. All right, so that becomes Vivisectionist, multiple levels of Wizard. Wizard's coming up to 5 off Scroll Savant if we do that first. This is the gold in that build, right? Scroll Vendor scales by Magic Kingdom stats, so you can be bottlenecked by Kingdom auto management. Okay. All right, so we basically want to go. This build then becomes Vivisectionist 1 for that max that HP dice. You ready, chat? No, this is glory. I love multi-specking is by far the most fun part of any system. Once you figure out enough to get some basic sense of what the fuck's going on. All right, where are we looking for this? Noon, lunchtime too. Okay. I'm starting with Alchemist, Vivisectionist. Go. Right, jumping strength, dex to 18, on to some number. I feel like it was 10, but I have to check in a second. Int was super high, wisdom was 10, charisma was down. I think it was this. Oh, we have 3 ability points first, so it wasn't this. Hold on, I can find out. I did actually copy paste it. 7, 18, 12, 21, 10. We have this at 12. All right, the things we have to take for Arcane Trickster are Arcana, Mobility. We want Trickery. This is our Trickery guy. What else do we need? We're doing Knowledge World because I really like having that and it's based. And then we had one that we eventually put into Perception, right? Did I need mobility? I took mobility. Did I need any more of these, chat? For the EK? Without me going back to look right now, was there anything else I needed for these stats for EK? There wasn't, right? So then this is either perception or UMD. I'm not taking Viva to 2 or 3. I'm gonna take the sneak attack feat so I don't have to fucking waste all those bubbles. I don't want to lose that much spell progression. Alright, we're gonna start with, I don't think it matters particularly for these right now. We're gonna start with, what is that feat that I'm looking for? The one that gives me extra sneak attacking? You'd always put that on at 3, but I just want it out of the way so I don't forget about it. Sneak attacker possibly, or accomplished sneak attacker. Not available right now. Oh, it just doesn't want to recommend it right now because we're too low of a level to take it. Unavailable? It's not unavailable, shit. Okay. Can't take it right now because of that maximum. I can take it right now. It just doesn't do anything. And it doesn't matter because we're going to level 8. But it's fine. Alright. Stuff we wanted on this character would be reduce person, shield. These are alchemist spells, so we can't do them to anybody else ever, right? Strike, fire belly, treat, cure light wounds. Bomber's eye do. No reason this character ever wants to be large. We can never cast large on anybody else. Seems to be zero reason for that. Spell is a troll. Okay, so basically that. Doesn't target throwing weapons, right? Right. All right. Is he a madman?
Let's shake a leg.
Yes. All right. You don't remember the numbers that went Baracus' name, or is it we're just going to Baracus now? Perfect. All right. Do any of our alignments matter for this character? Chat. The alignments have mattered annoyingly for other things. Good or evil, not neutral. Are there any items based around DC? So like chaotic good could be fine. Good for a DC necklace, evil for a staff. Perfect. Necklace versus staff feels like we want to fucking get that staff. Are they both DCs? Evil is plus int staff. I guess there you are. 143. We're okay without the 143 on it. I forgot the last part of your int staff. We don't have any evil characters. We could go chaotic evil. What do we use on necklaces? Necklaces are... Oh, they're armor. Get DC on a necklace sounds pretty good too. Does the int staff stack with anything else? We get int from something else. Profane on int.
I'll carve my name onto your flesh.
All right. He is an elf. We're just doing our random elf hatred, then sense that he's evil. Perfect. All right. Just hover over the AT and EK requirements. Level spells. AT is trickery 4, mobility 4. Okay. Green mobility. Okay. All right. Wizard.
Our modest
Scroll
fellowship
Savant.
expands. Praise the sub.
Dagatard, thank you. Sub. Alright. Scroll wizard chat. -1 feet. Okay. You have to choose a specialist school, apparently. My scroll savant wizard? Or the whole conversation we've been having for the last half hour? Alright, we're taking an animal companion over a bond. We're running with the perception. So what are the two? Hair is perception and initiative. And what's the other one that we've been interested in a couple times? It was Viper? No. Angela. Rat is fort save, which is okay. Reflex save. Ability checks. I mean, if he's our mobility guy, that's okay too. Lizard, I think, is the one that we always are recommended to its natural armor. Boa is athletics. Hare is initiative. Duck is knowledge. Ooh. Dog is lore. Nature lore. World knowledge. Chicken is points. Centipede is will save. That's master gains stealth. Okay, I guess my thought on this chat is lore. Which roles? All 4 of the lore roles deal with monster stats, right? Yeah, there's certainly. I mean, they all give initiative, right? Oh, they don't all give initiative. All give perception. Oh, they all give perception, and only some of them give initiative. I was thinking they were all giving initiative. Yeah, I don't know if I want. If that's relevant or not. It kind of feels like it is. Like it feels like high turn base is, but a lot of times I end up waiting anyways for the enemies to move so they can group up so I can cast fucking greets on them after they've stopped moving. A lot of the times the way that it works with the school effects or the area of effect point in this game is that you want your enemy to be stationary on them so they can keep rolling against it. Like multiple turns as opposed to just one turn. So I don't actually know that high initiative is actually as valuable in this character as I thought it was initially, because the way that the game is played out often leaves me delaying my wizard till after everybody else is gone so that the positions are defined, or at least until after the tanks have gone. So some argument, some pushback on the idea that it's always the hair. I don't know. 4 fucking initiative is really good too though. So all right, school wise, initiative might be good in a haste buffer. Yep, which he does sometimes. Okay, so how do these work? If I specialize, what am I getting? Gain 5 resistance to an energy type. Wait, I get extra things out of these? So last time we took sloth, whatever the fuck that was, which is specialization in conjuration. So that's where I'm getting this from. Okay, so here's the expanded tooltip that doesn't show up on the other screen. I didn't even know I was making this decision. So as a summoner, as a conjuration specialist, whenever you cast a summoning spell, increase the duration and number of rounds, some garbage that we don't care about. Standard action, you can unleash an acid dart. Acid dart's been fine, but hasn't scaled up for like it's just like essentially a slightly bigger cantrip. All right. Abjuration gives us energy resistance with a protective ward. And are we actually getting when do we gain these other abilities? If I scroll down, it says energy absorption at 6. But this is level 6 level wizard, presumably. So I probably don't get any of these. We're only bringing wizard to 5 until after Arcane Trickster. So I get this eventually the end of time. Are most of them at those levels? No, it seems to be different based on the school. We got this immediately. We got Dimension Step at 8 if I had known about it. I didn't even know we were taking these as things. Okay. So where do the other setups go? So Universalist gives us 8th level, you can expend it or alter the next spell. Pretty cool. Thanks, Sander. He has a fuck ton of bonuses. Holy crap. Chat, tell me these schools are leveled off wizard. Like if it says level 9 for transmutation, that means 9 points in wizard, not counting EK or Eldritch Knight or Arcane Trickster progression, right? This is just wizard levels. Yeah. So we don't even know if we're going to do that. So we're looking at ones that come into effect up through 5. Really what we're looking at. This has another one at 6. And we're looking for the ones. These don't have opposing schools or do have opposing schools. So this specialist gets to do everything. So do I lose access to a single school instead of 2 schools with these then? Is that just how normal Wizard and Pathfinder plays? You lose access to 1 school? How do I tell which one I'm losing? This doesn't say I lose anything, right? It doesn't have the following features: opposition school illusion. But this is illusionist specialist, so how the fuck could you have opposition school? Universalist is no opposing school, sure, but where do I see the green header? But this doesn't tell me this. This says we're specializing in illusion. It says don't have not illusion. Opposite schools cost 2, but where do I see the opposite school, chat? I still haven't determined this. I select the opposition school? Oh. I see. Are they limited to which ones they can select? Did not offer me to select one, by the way. Why are these different levels? We drop 2 levels of Arcana. Get UMD progression. Since UMD progression is going to be really important on this character, we probably do. There's my opposition school. So it's just literally not the school that we chose for opposition. I think. 7 there. 8 there. Yeah, it seems to be just not the one. Okay. All right. So let's take a look at the rest of the bonuses. So this was hidden from us previously when we were selecting wizard shit. We picked Conjuration because it seemed to make sense, but I'm not sure it did. And we took it because we wanted multiple greases, and I probably wouldn't have cared. Acid Dart was good with what we're doing, but we don't get any other benefits from that. And the first part, this of Conjuration, which is the summoning, is useless because I'm not using summons on this character if I can fucking help it. Resistance 5 is useless. Standard action you can create. Standard actions, pricey. You can create a 10-foot radius protective magic centered on you. All allies receive a deflection bonus equal to their armor. That's equal to your int modifier. It'll last for a number of rounds. +1. Bonus increases +1 for every 5 wizards. That's useless. Everybody has that already. Alright, Divination. You receive a bonus on initiative checks equal to 1/2 your wizard level. This is another 2 initiative. The 20th... Dude, at the 20th level, you just get nat 20 initiative rolls always. That's fucking powerful. Alright. So for us, this is +2. When you activate the school power, you can touch any creature as a standard action to give it an insight bonus on all of its attack rolls, skill checks, and ability checks with saving throws equal to 1/2 your wizard level, also +2. I don't know what bonus. What does the cleric give out right now? What domain is the cleric's bonus? 8th level, you can utter a prediction of the immediate future. I don't know about 8th level. 8th level is kind of ways away. Sacred. Okay. This could stack. I don't want the wizard to be spending its off rounds casting this buff. So presumably we almost never use this. This is probably going to be used out of combat for things like rolling on like mobility checks or something. But it's still useful. Since we can then double buff now, that would be cleric plus wizard buffing for checks that are not combat checks. That's fine. So what? This is Divination. All right, I gotta start writing these down. Well, what does the specialization do for us, chat? I guess I still don't know that. So is this just one extra spell slot for this class of specialization? Is that what this is? That a yes to me, Joas. So whereas the Thessalonian gets 2 with 2 opposing schools, this class gets 1 extra to that, and then opposing schools that cost me extra slots or something. Okay. I see. So our wizard really hasn't been casting divination spells that I'm aware of. That is a bit of a problem, although it has nice bonuses. New party? No, we're just fixing a couple things. So that's a little bit annoying. Conjuration had Conjuration is still a solid one. We cast a lot of conjuration spells, and getting +1 plus darts is fine. The darts are good. They're not amazing, but they're good. Summoner's Charm is wasted, which is kind of annoying. Okay, Xander. Alright. Abjuration does what for us? They have really, really fucking shitty abilities. I don't want Abjuration. That sucks. Enchantment. +2 enhancement bonus to persuasion checks and saving throws against enchantment spells. That's not everybody's, just us. Cause a living creature to become dazed for 1 round as a melee touch attack. Imagine trying to use a melee touch attack as a wizard. Fuck you. 8th level. Aura of Despair. That's a powerful ability, the Aura of Despair. And it doesn't say anything about a hit roll, so there's no like save against this. You just immediately subtract 2 from enemy ability checks and save throws. And damage roll. It's pretty sick, but we're not getting to level 8 for a while. So. Alright. Aren't I an elf? Locked chests in my barony's capital. I don't know. Alright, evocation. Whenever you cast an evocation spell that deals hit point damage, add 1/2 your wizard level to the damage. This bonus only applies once to a spell, not once per missile array, and cannot be split between multiple missile arrays. The damage is the same type as a spell. I mean, so it's just plus damage on evocation. That's reasonable. Okay. Force missile is a standard action. You can unleash a force missile that automatically strikes a foe as a magic missile. Does 1d4 plus the damage from your intense spell evocation power. That's really bad. Doesn't magic missile the number of missiles scale on your level? So this is a magic missile that doesn't scale. It's just a single magic missile. Alright, so evocation has... let me just read through these draft. Yeah, I don't know if we go level 8 later, so maybe I should also take a little nod at the level 8 ability. It was plus 2 damage to evocation spells. Like an auto attack? Sure, but this character has other auto attacks that are better because it uses touch AC, right? That's the whole point of this Arcane Trickster portion of this. That, yes, this would be another way to get off damage. Force missile damage, sure. Although it's going to be really fucking bad, right? All game long is going to be really bad for damage. Nose itches, ran. Alright. So, Abjuration was... I don't even know what that's saying, but it seems something we might have got. Dimensional Step at level 8. Kind of whatever. Divination gave. 420... Yeah, that's nice for sure. Although I didn't see a lot of divination spells that we've been using. I was trying to hope to kind of pick up some spells that we were actually using. But I really like Aura of Despair. This is on the enchantment specialization. Although I don't like Dazing Touch at all. So I guess the level 8 on enchant's okay. But only the level 8. Yeah. Illusion. So we up to illusion now. Illusion has fire a shimmering ray at any foe within 30 feet as a ranged touch attack. Causes creatures to be blinded for 1 round. Dazzle if they have more HP than us. More HP dice, which means they're a higher level. So that ability starts off strong and immediately downgrades. A, the blind is only 1 round. And B, it really affects almost nobody. 8th level, you can make yourself invisible as a swift action for a number of rounds per day equal to your wizard level. That's a fucking nuts ability. You get greater invis at 8 as a swift action for yourself. That's very interesting. These schools are much more interesting than I initially gave them credit for because they actually do things in addition to actually giving you additional spell slots. When I picked Conjuration on the other character, I didn't know any of these things applied. Like, I was surprised when I got Acid Dart and didn't know where it came from. I thought it was a wizard thing. Yeah, right, Top Gaming. Okay, what's the Necromancy? Power over Undead. Turn Undead as a bonus feat. You can channel energy a number of times equal to 3 plus your int saver, but only to int modifier, but only to use feats. I don't know what turn undead does. Is it like a undead nuke? Melee touch attacks a fail. Gain blind sight to a range of 10 feet equal to your wizard level. Pretty good too. Doesn't seem great for us though. What's finally Transmutation? What spells are we using? I guess... Gain +1 enhancement bonus. 1 physical ability score. Bonus increases by +1 for every 5 wizard levels. Do we get +2 enhancement bonus to 1 stat as this wizard? The level 5 version of this wizard. Is that correct, chat? So I would get, for example, +2 con. Like a standard reasonable buff. Enhancement bonus useless. Really? It being... Or dex if I'm not running any dex bonuses. Yeah, I understand it doesn't stack with basics. I understand what enhancement bonuses are. I just wanted to know the number. +1 does not seem very useful to me, but +2 does. Yep, okay. Yep, so we're on the same page, sure. Alright, as a standard action, you can strike with a fist, targeting any foe with a ranged touch attack. Does 1d4 bludgeoning plus for every 2, 1. How is this compared to acid damage? The acid damage one? Conjuration. 1d6 plus 1 for every 2 wizards. So the acid dart is more damage. And is acid. Acid's been very useful in this playthrough versus trolls. What's the last thing Transmutation does? 8th level, you can change your shape. Okay. So all of these are pretty weak then, unfortunately, because this is just +2 to it. This is +1. So +2 in this game is essentially +1. So we get a +1 out of this, like con. It doesn't stack with any other thing in the game, pretty much, that would normally enhance con, which is okay. That's still reasonable, but the other two suck. Although getting +1 Transmutation is cool. All right. I got one other thing. We got to look at this last one, then I got some questions for you. All right. How's your weapon? Okay, so I can throw my weapon. It uses int. That's whatever. I guess I get a little bit more coverage of weapons. If I have some cool effect that I can apply via weapon, maybe this is okay. 8th level, you can extend the alter the range of your next spell, although using extender reach accordingly. Okay. I don't know that extends a very good one, but okay. And we'll extend his duration. That's fine. So we get a longer buff once per day. That seems quite good, actually. So like, I care about this if I'm like running off haste or something. Defines what they are. 12th level, never. Okay. All right. So the schools are pretty unexciting in the end. Did I miss anything modifying DC, chat? Did I miss any of that anywhere in these bonuses? or anything interacting with UMD. Yeah, the divination bonuses were pretty fucking sick. Although I would strongly argue that I don't know that I have any divination magic we want to use. I don't even know what spells they are. So, okay, so. All right, chat, you ready for a quick troll? Easy troll? Just gonna casually ignore everything we've done this morning for 4 hours of streaming so far. And just have a quick look at what spells we're using and the backgrounds they're coming from. Alright, because what I actually wanted to look at there was the spell book. So, Abjuration, Transmutation, Conjuration, 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 Enchantment, Transmutation, Conjuration, Transmutation, Enchantment, and Transmutation. I understand we focused on that. I understand I'm banned from Evo. Yep. Remember, the Evo bonus was just like +2 damage only. Like +2 damage for the rest of time on your damaging evocation spells. Maybe what I should be looking at is a proper spell list. I don't know that we can go back. So there's also the illusion ones we're not taking.
Learn from their mistakes before they
But
learn
I guess
from
my point is
yours.
more along the lines that so far I haven't seen a single spell that's divination that we've ever wanted to cast, even on the guy who's not limited by that. We have a bunch of illusion spells. We have been casting some situational aberration stuff. It looks like a lot of defensive buffs are illusion. A lot of the offensive buffs are either the offensive debuffs are either necro or enhancement or conjuration. So yeah, maybe that's a better way to do it. Is I should maybe be looking at the divination spell list for Pathfinder. All right, let's try to do that. My concern is they're all bad. True Strike is one of the strongest spells in the game. Okay, bro. All right, looking at that, we have... Wait. Pathfinder Kingmaker Wiki, Divination Arcane School. There's literally True Strike, See Invis, Sense Vitals, See Invis Communal. So at level 0, none. Level 1, True Strike only. Level 2, See Invis and Sense Vitals. Level 3, See Invis Communal. Level 4, nothing. Level 5, nothing. Level 6, True Seeing. Level 7, nothing. Level 8, Prediction of Failure. Level 9, Foresight. Fucking hell. That's useless. What is the point of having a spell slot that can only be devoted to this spell type if there are literally no spell types of that for half of the levels that you're playing? Okay. Oh, it's a little bit unfortunate. It probably means we're not building any synergies into that. It just means we're going to be taking something. Meta Magic, casting the same spell on all levels. That's true. Were there any of those spells that we cared about? Not really. I mean, I guess we can get a free communal in See Invis after like level, what was that, level 4? Sense Vitals is a I guess either a sneak attack modifier or like a critical modifier. I can't remember which. Either way, it's not very exciting. I mean, I guess that's actually okay with this character. Sense Vitals. Wasn't there some prerequisite to it too? Like it had to be like, was it melee weapon only or something? I don't remember. I think I found it costly is what I found it. Like the bonus that it was giving me wasn't very exciting. We're looking for Chaotic Evil Elf. Brackus. Baby body type. Smirking, of course. Bald Smirker. Evilest of elves. Range 2. Oh, maybe that's something. I gotta look at the rest of that in a second. So, alright. Alchemist. Vivisectionist. Go. Need food too. What am I missing? 18, 10, 19, 10. What am I fucking missing? 12. Okay. Alright, and they were mobility, trickery, arcana, world, UMD. Okay. Alright. Then it was extra sneak attacker. We take this slightly different order if we were playing through it, but I just know I need this one for the spec later. That's fine. Stupid stuff here was retreat, fire belly, reduce person, shield, true strike, pure light wounds, and bomber's eye, I think. Okay. All right.
Get it off me. I did it.
Maracus it is. It was chaotic. No. Lawful. Chaotic evil.
The road calls me. I'll take the bait.
Wait, I didn't make it a female sounding voice. Why is this female sounding? Wait, that's female?
I will see this through.
Quick, quick.
Isn't that female?
Miss all the fun.
I have no use for this. All I see is
There we go.
blackness.
Okay.
Forwards. No, backwards. Backwards.
Oh, that's just comical. It's not mad. I don't want comical.
Together we stand. I have no need for this.
Perfect. Okay. Know-it-all fucking evil elf pretending to be sanctimonious. Like it. Alright? Alright, wizard levels. Roll Savant. Doing it. Alright. Air familiar. Should have rolls. So I want Divination. Like, this is like the best bonuses with the worst spells. I guess that's the trade-off we're making. All of these abilities are good though. At level 8, Foretell is good. At all levels, Diviner's Fortune is fine for skill checks out of combat. And in combat, Forewarned is always useful. Although it's only a +2 bonus. All these things are great. And the only other ones that really stand out are the one we had, which was Focus Conjuration with Acid Spray. This was reasonable. I don't want Bonded item. Happy with the companion. Or not the companion. It's not a summon, right? This doesn't take damage. It's a familiar. I like the familiars. +2 enhancement bonus on persuasion checks and saving throws against enchantment spells. +2 saving throws versus enchantment is fine. I don't hate that. Dazing Touch is useless and Aura of Despair is sick, but we'd have to get to level 8. How does it work again? We're going 1 level of Vivisectionist, 5 levels of Wizard, and then Arcane Trickster for 10. So we're talking more Wizard levels at level 17 onwards. So to get level 8, that's 3 levels past 16. So we're getting that at 19. So level 8s are never occurring. All right, 5, 1. Level 8's 3 more after 10 of those. No, it's worse than that. 19. Okay, so I don't give a shit about the level 8 modifiers. None of those matter. They're never going to be part of this. Those were bad. This doesn't matter. So I get Acid Dart. Are we picking this on Acid Dart? It's essentially Divination bonuses but we can't get any extra spells out of it. Conjuration's the school we're going to be spamming. Also, maybe enchantment. We may be spamming enchantment. Is it transmutation or enchantment that lets us cast haste? I think it's transmutation, actually. Yeah. We're going to have +2 con, or we can have acid dart. Okay, these don't matter. Unfortunately, this is the hardest type of decision for me. It's a decision without meaning. Damage to conjuration. Why not conjuration? Let me rephrase your question. Why not universalist? I mean, it's the same decision. We're trying to figure out the one that most impacts what we're doing, but the answer is almost none of these impact what we're doing. Conjuration's fine. We probably end up doing it because it gives us 1 extra spell for conjuration. But I was hoping to find something that simultaneously gave us 1 extra spell of spells we'd use while doing something more impactful. Acid Dart is fine. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't amazing. Right? Sure. New conjuration. I don't think there's justification for Divination, even though Divination seems massively more fun. It would have to be C Invis, and we would get no benefit out of these at early levels. I feel like we would never take this. If we weren't level 8 right now, we would never take Specialist School Divination. I don't really wish to play to the strengths of our current character creation as opposed to the character creation over time if we weren't respecing. Oh. Alright. Mobility, Trickery. Knowledge Arcana. Knowledge World, rather. UMD. Who else? Anyone else running this? Thaddeus has Knowledge World? Really? Anyone else have Arcana? Diablos has Arcana. We are getting duplicates on both these. This also has Lore Nature. It knows many things. Do we even take this? Did we do it wrong then? Maybe it shouldn't be fucking... I mean, I assume because we're int-based. Maybe Thaddeus should be doing Legion. Maybe he can't. Is that the problem? Okay. Do that. Fine. Opposition school. What do we want to give up? You guys want to give up Divination as an opposition school? Seems terrible. Why do I have to choose 2 opposition schools? We could still up opposition school evocation. Oppositions for normal wizards, it just takes extra spell slots as opposed to being entirely prohibited. Okay. I think evocation spells are the spells we're least likely to be using, right? Abjuration. I don't even know what spells are abjuration. You need evocation. Immensely need evocation spells at all. Fine without them. We have the option to do it via scrolls, right? Missions or stuff. We get shield off of Alchemist. Presumably Alchemist doesn't care about abjuration, right? Like, yeah, if I take abjuration specialist here or opposition school abjuration here, do my Alchemist shield spell cost me 4? Cost me 2 or 1? I know that Fireball is evocation. Abjuration. I do want to spread the buffing out. So I know I don't want transmutation because I love fucking haste. I don't know what spells are enchantments, but I think enchantments are basically our debuffs, so I don't really want those to be twice as costly either. So it becomes either illusion, vocation. Could be illusion. I mean, we pretty much didn't bother with this. Or necromancy. Necromancy is still our attack spells though, right? There's things like blind in there. What do I lose from taking illusion here? Blur and mirror image. Yeah, but I have someone else who can cast blur, so I don't have to worry about that here. And mirror image is also similar there. I don't know that mirror image is self only though. Character's never mirror imaging. I won't be casting that spell. Creation, necromancy. Spells in there. Okay. So we do either, to me it's either illusion or evocation then, and I think I can settle down on illusion. That's fine. We fuck it up, we fuck it up. Alright. Wizards, why do I have to choose more? These are wizard spells, not alchemist. We already got the alchemist spells. No. Didn't I already choose spells like 45 times? I did. I wasn't updating this. I can, because I can, no, I don't know. Alright. We want grease, mage armor, snowball, burning hands, I guess. Large person as a wizard spell is fine. Missile is fine. Get so many. We just didn't have these people before. Access duplication. We have shield off of our alchemist. What does shield text read? Excuse me. One spells are just not very exciting. I can take a reduced person here as well. I don't know if it actually changes anything at all. Except that if I cast it as a wizard, I get stuff on it. The one that's dice limited. Powerful scream, inaudible to a single target, target's dazed for 1 round. Sonic damage, no, that was not a good one. House Fear would have been okay. Summon monster, cheating. It's really corrosive touch versus. This is all fine. I never ever am gonna use this melee touch too. Okay. It's really strong in this game. All right, dude. Keep telling me all the things that I can't take, and I keep walking through why those are still my best options, and then you don't offer any counter argument. You just say it's strong. What am I supposed to do with that? I still have to choose opposition schools. All right. Good? I think so. All right, wizard again. Need to get to 4 on these. Ability, trickery. World, UMD. Wait, didn't I have a spell? No, we're not. Alright, spell focus. So we need point blank shot. Point blank shot is a prerequisite for casting into combat, right? We take point blank shot. In that wizard feat. Yeah, great invisible. I'm sure I will find things that we don't like for sure. This is why I kind of wanted to do fucking evocation spells, chat. Because I have other ways to get rider attacks on my goddamn attacks already. Between acid spray and things like snowball, right? Like the conjuration based spell attacks, all are fine. And then if I need to use evocation spells, I can pull up a scroll and throw a fireball. Like, do I care? Like, do I need to learn these? Like, I don't know that I need to learn them. Feels very much like evocation would be a good secondary not care about. There are more level 1 spells. Exactly what I want. Level 1 spells. Alright. Action from alignment and Speediest Retreat. Alright. Yeah, I think the opposition school of evocation makes the most sense that I've seen yet. It depends how, I mean, greater... Thing is, this character is a sneak attacker because it is an Arcane Trickster, so having greater invisibility as a buff for damage dealing is actually possibly relevant if I'm casting that. No? We have to fucking respec again. I mean, alright, let's keep leveling it like this and see what fire spell, what evocation spells we're getting that are so relevant to our general enjoyment of life. Get so many more fucking skill points with. We already have Thaddeus and Chat's Cleric for this. And for Lore Religion, it's only Chat's Cleric. It would be really nice to have a second person rolling on Lore Religion. Get 2 here. UMD happens. Question is, do we have another Perception? Perception just seems like so relevant to everything. Bonus to DC won't affect scroll DC, so you still get higher DC casting from it. The whole point of going scroll savant so that it does literally do impact. Equipment does impact our scroll spells. That's the whole point of going scroll savant. Alright, we've been using Acid Arrow, though we picked up wands on this. Took Glitter Dust. Glitter Dust has been really kind of whatever. We tried Pit. I've hated Pit, chat. Like, I mostly don't even want to cast this spell. What do we gain here if we took a fire spell? So losing Blur, Invisibility, and Mirror Image, which we didn't cast on this character anyways. Losing See Invis, Sense Vitals. 1 round per level, so it's a pretty short buff. Although it gives us quite a bit of extra damage. Personal only, which does matter for us. Ability allows you to make sneak attacks. You already can do. I don't know if this stacks with regular. Oh, it does literally say this additional damage stacks with other sources of damage. There's more. We could get more dice progression with this spell, although it's currently one of our opposition spells, so we wouldn't take it. It's a level what? This is a level 2 spot. Level 2s are a little short because all the fucking buff spells come on level 2s. Okay. Yeah, I've been pretty unpleased with the pit spells. I don't think I would bother taking them again. So I assume this means taking Acid Arrow, but we have like a billion sources. We can book learn all this shit, right? So what would we take that maybe we wouldn't want to take from, or scroll learn from all of it? I don't know if I have any scrolls of Cat's Grace. This was the one I liked having on this character because the cleric doesn't have it. I kind of want to grab this one at the very least. Okay, I think we have now... We're missing Knowledge Arcana 4. Was a prereq. It's okay though, because we want to go 2 more levels of Wizard first with this build. We have to make sure we bring that up. So we're done. Wait. I have 2 there. Okay, so both of these have to be in here. Although we have more skill points now because we hit a int level up. It was just 4, right? For Arcane Trickster? Yeah. Green Mobility 4. And Arcane Arcana 4. Yeah, we can get that though. We have this level and the next level to do that. They're taking 5 levels of Wizard. Alright, so we're still running Trickery because this is our biggest lock picker. We have to run Arcana there. We are still running UMD because it's important. We took 1 point in perception, but we might be done with that right now. Oh, we can take a 2nd point in Arcana. Backfill. And we're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. We need Precise Shot, I believe. That's the one that got unlocked with prerequisites. We have these. We're looking for 2 more level 2s. We can learn this via scroll. Learn all these via scroll. It doesn't really. Maybe blindness. Do we have a blind scroll? I don't know if we do. I feel like this is one of the spells I would kind of like to have back. Maybe a burning arc too. Oh, is this a touch attack? Literally doesn't say. 1 enemy creature within close range. And 1 enemy per caster level. Oh, it isn't. It's just. Wait, this doesn't have. It just has a saving throw. Doesn't have a touch at all. Oh, interesting. That's Frigid Touch. I think we took Hideous Laughter. What's our conjuration spell at this level, though? Oh, we already have Glitter Dust. Okay. Alright, let's grab our situationals. Alright. We have Arcane Trickster available, but we're 1 more level in Wizard first. Right, sorry. Oh, Trickery is still getting scaled. Arcana and World are getting scaled. UMD is getting scaled, and every other level we hit Perception. Still doing the 0 Charisma UMD build. It works. Alright. Thinking Cloud was a fucking... That was such a solid spell. It was so good. Stirring Blast, Deep Sleep, Dispel Magic, Fireball. We can learn Fireball off a scroll. Haste is something we want. We have a shit ton of Haste scrolls. We can learn that off a scroll. Heroism is interesting. I don't know if we have this as a... we have a Lightning Bolt scroll. So it is kind of nice seeing the evocation show up here. I guess what I'm not seeing is the stuff... Oh, we're not banned from it, so we should actually see the progression. So Greater Invis is going to hurt. All right, is this our first level 3? It is. I want hit point based, hit die based spells. I don't know if we found a Molten Ore. Level 2 though. Do you want to take a level 3? Okay, so we're taking our last level 3. I don't know that we have a scroll of slow. It's actually been really bad because it has that hit roll, but it's still something to be thinking about. Resist energy communals too. Which is which? Resist energy communal or protection from energy? One is good and one is shit, right? Doesn't the cleric have both of these? I can't remember what the difference is. Temporary immunity. When the spell absorbs 12 points per caster level of energy level. Discharge. So it's immunity, absorb. Then resist is what? DR? Have one of these. We're going to gain all of these. This is probably irrelevant. It's probably Dispel Magic just because we have the ability to get all the rest of these. We have another guy who can Dispel Magic. This spell has been shit so far to me, by the way. Like, I've never found a point to use it so far. Tell me how Dispel Magic checks to see if it works.